Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60andMe. Thanks for being here today. I hope that you're doing okay. Topic is one today that's going to probably touch a lot of hearts, and it's a continuation really of a conversation that we've been having for the last year. It's a story about estranged adult children. That is a situation where you are no longer in connection, in touch with your adult children. Now, Christine Field is one of our bloggers, and she has written several articles on this theme, on this topic, and every time we've done a video or an article on it, it's just been an explosion of comments and conversation that just honestly break my heart sometimes. The number of women in our community who are dealing with an estranged child situation. It's really heartbreaking. And I want to talk to you today, though, about how to deal with it. Now, Christine has done an excellent job of putting this together. She has a website, actually. I think it's called Real Mom Life. I'll actually put the details in the section below, because she has been writing about this for some time and has expertise. There are lots of support groups now, because this is not an isolated issue. So when I say estranged adult child, are you apart from them? You don't know where they are? Do they not ever contact you? Do they keep your grandchildren away from you? Are you just not getting any response at all to outreach that you might be making to them? Did they come back during the pandemic and then leave, or make it very, very uncomfortable for you in that you didn't have a connection, you didn't have the relationship that you wanted? So are they taking advantage of you financially and using some mechanism to keep you, engaged there that's really hurting you? And this article, by the way, that Christine wrote, and this conversation that I'm having with you, is really to encourage you to start shifting the perspective to it being about you, not about them. And I really know how hard this is to say. And I really appreciate the people that are struggling along the whole spectrum, because everything is, we're representing women here that have just recently had this experience, some trigger event has happened, something occurred that just broke the relationship, or women that have been in this situation for many, many, many years, and who cry every single day because they are not connected to their adult children, or their adult children, for whatever reason, have left them, have abandoned them. They are estranged. So that word estranged, even the word estranged, is harsh to me. It feels like it's just such a separation, like a cut. And so it is a word, however, that defines this category. Christine actually, I think, is writing a book on this, and she's in the article says, you are, the most important message that she wants to give to you is she's not alone. You're not alone. Estranged mamas, you're not alone. And if that gives you any strength or any sense that, there's a whole sense, an argument about, how these things happen, how children just make the decision to move away from their parents, why they do it. It's, there's not one easy reason. And a lot of young people join the conversation too, saying that there were very valid issues that they can identify. So it's complex. And I don't mean to simplify it beyond that. But Christine does give you some ideas for what to do, how to handle it. And there's 5. First is get support. I mean, it could be as simple as just being here, being with other women who are dealing with the same situation, but get some support. Do not try to do this alone. And there are lots of online groups, there's books that you can read, and that word support just has, again, it's a spectrum, but get some support. The second thing is, don't cut off in response. Now, if you, I think what I mean is, don't cut off if you don't get a response. A lot of women said to me in previous comments, look, what's the point of sending a birthday card if I never get a response? I'm not going to do it anymore. Whereas other people will say, for your own heart, for your own peace of mind, send your grandkids a birthday card. Send them a little gift. It's up to you. But she actually advises that you don't cut off the response. But for you, that may not be possible. And sometimes these are pretty intense, which leads to the third tip, which is don't feed the anger. Now, a lot of, over the last few years, there's been a lot of separation around, sort of beliefs and values and political lines. And those have split families, and even with the pandemic, split families down the middle around an anger position. Like, I am angry with your decision, or I am angry that you have that point of view. But Christina says, don't feed that anger. If you disagree, and that's the reason, and you cannot find a way to actually come to some kind of a balanced agreement with each other, that you accept each other's differences, then don't feed the anger. Don't keep on niggling. Don't be like a passive aggressive and be nice one minute and then, try to hurt them the next day. Honestly, that's going to hurt you more than them. So don't feed the anger is the third one. Listen to your child without defending yourself. If they've got something on their mind, if they actually will speak to you and tell you, why won't you call me? Why won't you connect with me? Why can I not see my grandchildren? And if they're ready to talk, listen. Just listen with an open heart. I know that's hard, especially if there's been, like a lot of anger, maybe violence, maybe, situations where really deep cuts, heart cuts, but if you can, just listen with an open heart. That's just a tip from Christine. She's been through this, trust me. And she writes about this in other articles, her own situation. She went through severe depression, and she had to actually have some help, medical help, and really it was, she gets it. So I think that's one thing to reassure you about, that you're not alone in finding this hard. The next thing is, and this is the kind of the circle, focus on yourself and not your child. I know that's almost an impossible thing to suggest if you are just tied up with frustration or anger or grief or sadness or regret or guilt, whatever your feeling is, but you've got to try to focus on yourself. Look, we all make mistakes, right? We all have made mistakes along the way, and I can't remember which article it was that somebody mentioned this, but you've said you're sorry 1,000 times to your child. I'm sorry for having done that. I'm sorry that I had this habit that wasn't good for you. I'm sorry that I wasn't there when you got home from school. I'm sorry that I didn't have enough money to buy you whatever you wanted. I'm sorry that I divorced the man that you think is your dad and who you really love, or maybe you're living with. You can say you're sorry for as long as you want, but at some point you just have to say, look, I'm sorry, I've said it 1,000,000 times. I'm now going to live my life joyfully, because that's how I'm going to show to you that I'm the person that I want you to love. I've changed. I'm different. Things have changed, but I'm going to live joyfully. I think it was a blogger. A little poet, I think. Anyway, somebody was talking about this whole issue. I've said 1,000,000 times, I'm sorry, but now I want you to see me living joyfully. I'm going to live my life. Okay. And that's, I think, super important for them to hear, because that's maybe easier for them to love that person that you've become. Now, if it's the other way around, then that they've done something that's really been harmful to you, that's going to make a different story. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is not a one-size-fits-all conversation. Your story is your story. Try to seek healing from any wounds. And I think she talks about this. She went on a 3-week, I think it was, medical depression treatment program she talks about. But, try to find ways to heal the wounds. And, remind yourself that you made choices as best you could along the way. They weren't, in some ways, it's just so frustrating when you look back and you think, if only I had thought of that, or if only I had done that. But you didn't. You were just moving at the pace you could. You were within the boundaries of the life that you had created, the choices that you'd made, the people that you were married to or with, and the friends that you'd made. It's all good. You did the best you could. Now, I've got a note here that when a relationship becomes unmanageable, because there are going to be points here where all these tips, get support, cut off, don't cut off a conversation, don't feed the anger, all those things. When it becomes unmanageable, then you honestly are going to have to start going very, very deep inside to give yourself a refresh, a restart. Maybe it will be moving away. Maybe it will be, finding a new relationship. Maybe it will be starting a new job or doing some volunteer. Something has to take you out of that pain, out of that constant gnawing, angry hurt that you're feeling, and the shame and the embarrassment, is hard sometimes for people. But she says, here's the message to the adult children, that don't think that they understand. Try to understand, maybe just say, can you understand the hurt that you're causing me? And as they get older, they may come around, and then, if you've kept that door open, they might come back. But your mother is your mother. This is the thing that, Christine tries to say to adult children that talk to her. Try to understand that you may not like her, you may not be able to tolerate, but she's your mom. And the worst thing that you can do is discard her. And that's the message for the adult children that Christine talks to. It's tough, but I mean, she's in this from the deep end. There's a message from an author called Sherry McGregor, and it's all about gratitude. And even if you haven't got those children in your life giving you what you think you really need to survive, she says, don't let one empty chair make you neglect your full table. Take care of yourself. Know that you're not alone. Life can still be good for you. And maybe it's just time to move on. Sherry McGregor, I think she wrote a book. You might want to check it out. Check out the article by Christine, and do look at her website. It's realmomlife.com, Christine Field. Are you a mother with an estranged adult child? I hesitate to even ask that question because I know we'll get hundreds of responses, and several people have said, just hearing other people's stories makes me feel good. In the sense that it makes me feel like I'm not alone, that this is not just something I need to be ashamed and guilty and feel bad about. There's lots and lots of other women, millions of other women that are dealing with this. And it's okay, we'll get through this. So, thank you for listening. I hope that this was a useful conversation. If you've found ways and means that have helped you to move forward, please leave them in the comment section below. Please like this video, because I want YouTube to spread this message to other women who are not even in our community. Let's just like, thumbs up the video below, because that at least will get the message out to more women. And if you really feel like we're giving you some stories here that are useful, then just subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. We'd love to have you here. We're here for you. We're here to help each other. No, please take care of yourselves, be well, and I look forward to reading your comments and joining in the conversation. Take really good care, everybody. Stay safe and well. Bye-bye for now.